6.6, sitting as the Board of Directors of the Lake County Watershed Protection District, accepts staff presentation on water quality in Clear Lake outreach perspectives, project updates, Water Resources Director Pawan Upadhyay.
Hello everyone, it's Pawan Upadhyay, Lake County Water Resources Director. So today we have a presentation here and we have a consultant joining us for that. So just a brief history about this project. So we got this grant from Blue Ribbon Committee to conduct a comprehensive outreach assessment in 2022. The purpose of this effort was to evaluate public perception, awareness, and knowledge gaps related to water quality in Clear Lake, with the goal of strengthening future education outreach and scientific communication efforts across local communities. Following the county's procurement policies, we put out a RFP to get a consultant working on this, and then we received a successful bid from SCI, and I believe they were the only one we received a proposal from, and they were selected to conduct this outreach study, and now they have concluded their results for the public perception survey, which I think if you guys recall, like there was a survey which went out earlier this year. So this presentation gonna be presenting the results for that, and staff is requesting the board to accept this presentation, and then I will hand it over to Chris and he can present on the findings there.
Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, Pawan. It's good to be here. I'm Chris Coulter with SCI Consulting Group. We've been working on this project for a little over a year. So we do have a presentation, and let's see, I can share that presentation. Okay, so today we're just going to talk about the results of our work to date. So we'll explain a summary of our focus group work and the mailed survey that went out this summer, and then the last part of this presentation will be the findings and our recommended next steps for this project. So the real goal of this particular phase of work was to engage the public and learn about the public perceptions of water quality in Clear Lake region and Lake County. The goal really is to learn what the public knows and what they believe, and this information that we collect in this phase of the work will shape the subsequent parts of the project work, which we'll explain. But the real goal of this is to explore water quality and stormwater funding options. So the first part of this is to engage the public and learn what kind of knowledge gaps exist and what people already know and what is important to them. So the outreach perspective work in 2024, we have a number of focus groups with a number of diverse groups, the Socioeconomic Subcommittee, the Clean Water Management Council, and we also held some focus group work at the Clear Lake Science Symposium over the summer. Later in May of 2025, in the summer, a survey was mailed out to about 7,000 property owners, and property owners received a physical copy in the mail and were asked to indicate their level of support for a potential fee or assessment to support stormwater and clean water activities in the county. And then today we'll give you the results of that work. So in our focus group work, namely, the first goal was to learn about what folks believe is happening in Clear Lake regarding water quality and what causes exist, what impacts are creating issues with the water quality in the lake and stormwater issues. And so we got a number of responses, and I'll show you the question that we asked is really the main goal of this slide. The question was asked, what do you believe is the most influential driver of water quality in Clear Lake? So we got a number of responses, but what we learned really essentially is that people believe that there's human impacts largely. The number of responses that we received was somewhat broad. We attempted to combine them into groups, but really the largest, the most common response was that humans are driving water quality issues, and those types of things, such as there's a perception that there's runoff issues going into the lake and septic systems. We've heard a lot about illegal dumping, and on the other side, there's a substantial amount of people that also accept that there's natural factors that contribute to the water quality in the lake. So a really good sample of folks who are pretty well informed was also one of the takeaways from the focus group work.
Chris,
We also asked a question about what people's perception.
real quick, we have quite a bit of slides left. We have
we'll
quite
speed
a
it up.
robust agenda, so if you could summarize.
So we also learned that a lot of folks in the region believe that Clear Lake was a lot cleaner 200 years ago, and that's important because it believes that it ties into the human cost of this issue. This is the mailed survey that went out. But right now, I'm going to give you the results of that mailed survey. So in our mailed survey, which incorporated a lot of the findings from our focus groups, we asked folks.
Chris, just a quick, I think we are not able to see your slide. I don't know, maybe you want to stop sharing and share again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you able to see?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. So our mailed survey, 7,100 surveys were mailed out. There was a question that asked folks, would you support a fee or an assessment on your property tax to fund clean water activities and improved water quality and improved stormwater management in Lake County? Our survey tested two rates. We tested a lower rate and a higher rate. We tested a $9.75 rate for a single family home, and we also tested a $22.50 rate. The corresponding revenue, the totals that those bring in are $500,000 annually for the lower rate, $975, or $1.15 million for the $22.50 rate. Now that's for a single family home, typical single family home. The results that you see here, we're looking at a 50% threshold majority for approval. So the lower rate received 62.5%. The higher rate was also very close to that at 59.8, just under 60%. So we got a positive result from the survey in terms of the threshold being 50%. The result was that there is support for this kind of funding measure from property owners. So that is some good news, and we can look a little bit more in detail at the actual results. This graph really just shows, the survey asked how, definitely yes, in 4 different types of responses, probably yes, probably no, or definitely no. So we saw the most common response was the definitely yes, which is very strong. It indicates that there's a lot a lot of actual momentum and support for this. We sometimes see like a larger amount of probablys than definitelys, but in this case, there's a strong amount of definitelys. This is an important issue for folks. That's really the main takeaway. And again, the survey did have a 3.4% margin of error, which is right where we're hoping for. And these results actually speak to, that 50% threshold being still outside of the range of the margin of error. So that's also good. The survey asked a number of follow-up questions. And what we really learned again was that this is an important issue. People are really concerned about water quality in Clear Lake. These questions really drill down on our future work, which would look at outreach and trying to inform folks about water quality. And so these sub-questions will actually shape our future work. But what we saw is that most of the questions pulled really high in terms of human actions. These types of people are responding to proposals that indicate like work like funding trash capture, pollution removal, and water quality. So our real takeaways from the two types of outreach that we've done to date with the survey and the focus groups is that runoff and septic system is important to people. People think that is one of the causes and one of the solutions. And we also saw that funding for maintaining drainage systems is also really highly connected to folks' support for this type of work. And so what we've done really with this phase of work is set the groundwork for potential outreach themes and messaging for a potential, if in the future, if there is a ballot measure, that this type of the messaging that focuses on human cause for water quality is really one of the focuses. And we want to emphasize practical, visible outcomes and actual work that can impact less flooding, cleaner water, safer recreation. And we don't really want to talk about abstract ideas. We want to talk about physical work. And again, septic issues are also one of the hot points, so that's definitely going to be included in any future messaging. So in terms of the next steps, this project includes a feasibility analysis, which explains all the different type of revenue options available. What we essentially would be starting is a feasibility study that focuses on a property-related fee at a $22.50 assessment level, and the subsequent steps on that. After that, there would be a potential future implementation of a funding source, and that would be an optional step. So with that, we have a little bit of time for some questions. So happy to
Go ahead,
open it up to
Supervisor
the floor.
Okay, I think it's page 11. It says mailed in survey, write in comments. And on that particular page, property owners against the assessments, it was 67 that wrote taxes and assessments are already too high, with a total of 166 people against it. And then the property owners in favor of the assessments, there was different aspects under that, but the total number was 140.
Yes, thank you for your question. And I hope you can see the screen that's up now. Yes. So when we mail out the survey, there's a write-in field. We had 166 total negative comments and 140 positive write-in comments. So those are noted. These are typical responses. A lot of times people say that we already pay enough in taxes. So that's always the most popular response.
All right, Supervisor Sabatier.
Yeah, just a quick question. You submitted or you sent out 7,100 surveys, only received 809 responses. Do you have like a mapping of who responded? Because I'm going to make an assumption that the 7,100 was kind of a cross section of the community, so it would kind of go everywhere. But the 809 could be very specific locations, such as are the responses from wealthier areas? So that when we try to look at this as a county-wide potential question, that yes, we might get those that have disposable income saying yes, but those that don't, maybe they didn't respond and they would struggle more to say yes. So just kind of curious if there was a mapping of where the responses came from.
That's a great question, Supervisor. Yes, we do have that. There's a map of all the location of where these folks live. And demographically, we have everything tied up, and that information will be super key to look more into outreach efforts as it moves on. We certainly understand that this type of measure, there's challenges in Lake County. We have positive survey results, but there needs to be a sustained informational effort, and those there's lots of data points in terms of who responded and who didn't respond.
That information would be great.
All right. I'll open it up for public comment. Betsy, if you can unmute.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did submit a letter yesterday to all of the supervisors, and I did not have an email address for the consultant, but I would like to correspond with the consultant. I would like to see all of those data points. I would like to see all of the actual information that was put together. And I would also like to see how the questions were created based upon your knowledge of the existing multi-million-dollar funded programs. I made suggestions specifically to the supervisors because of our more than 30 years of millions of dollars of investments in these programs. I appreciate the fact that in the last 3 or 4 years, the Department of Water Resources has created a very, very effective outreach project. I hope the funding that you have will continue that project because that's what's the basis of your knowledge in the public. But I think Bruno's question is very valid. Where did those answers come from? And how were they asked these questions? I have not seen the survey. I would like to actually see the survey and see what was asked, and that kind of thing. So I'd appreciate having that information. Thank you.
All right. Any other public comment? All right, close public comment and bring it back to the board. And I think it's just accept the presentation, so. Supervisor Sabatier?
And what I appreciate is we have finite amount of funding when it comes to water resources, and Clear Lake is something we need to manage and take care of. Luckily, we have good partners that help us with that as well. I'm not against the concept of looking at where other revenues could come from, such as potentially some kind of tax measure that goes on the ballot. But I would much prefer going after a specific tax than a general tax, just because that holds us accountable for future generations rather than just the people who have good intentions and know what they were asking. And so having it not reach that 2/3 status kind of limits my approach of maybe now's not the right time, and maybe there's other opportunities, and continue to work with our partners to see how we can best extend those dollars to make sure that we are treating our lake in the appropriate way and making progress. But just wanted to at least make those points.
Supervisor Owen?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Lloyd?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just for purposes of the recommended action, the staff is requesting that your board, essentially by motion, accept the staff presentation on water quality and Clear Lake outreach perspective project updates.
So moved.
Second.
Oop, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0.